Welcome to the Wanderlust podcast with Stories from the Road. I'm your host, Sarah Leamy, writer and wanderer and publisher. You're going to hear a mix of personal anecdotes from my own travels, as well as recommendations for gear, events, and books that I'm reading, books that I've come across. And each episode will also have a short story of my own, often set in the American Southwest. And this is just another way of giving you a sense of people and places, how they interact and affect each other deeply. I hope this podcast encourages you to explore, write, and inspire others to be just as curious and playful as you are. So please enjoy, and thank you very much for listening. Why, hello folks, how are you doing? Today I am back. I'm back in Baja, Mexico, Baja California Sur, in Mulegé to be exact. And after a few months off, I had been working up in Colorado, as you know from the other episodes. Then I took a few months off and I went to England for a little bit. And then I was in New Mexico and Colorado. And then I have been down in Baja for the last, 2 months. And for those that don't know, since I got here, I have ended up getting to know the people from the Mulegé Animal Rescue. It's a local dog rescue. It's been around for, had various iterations, but right now, like 2 or 3 years, I imagine, is my impression. And I met them at the Mulegé Expo, which was celebrating the many years of the foundation of this great little town, with the mission that came about in, I believe it was the 1700s. And I'll go into Mulegé in a different episode, and I'll talk about the town itself and the history and what's here and what's going on locally and culturally and all of that. But today I wanted to talk about animal rescue because, as you know, I travel with dogs, and I have since I came to the States, since I settled in New Mexico in 2020. In 1990. When was that? 1993 was when I ended up staying in Santa Fe, New Mexico County. So anyways, animal rescue is a big thing. Traveling with dogs is a big thing. It's a big theme. You come across it in my other episodes. And today I wanted to talk about how, on this trip, completely unexpected, I have adopted a new dog. His name is Teddy. He's at my feet right now. And Mulegé Animal Rescue, specifically Pam Taylor and Hector, two of the main 3 or 5 people that are in the rescue, they were at the city dump feeding the various dogs that get dropped off there, that end up there, and they came across 3 puppies. And their puppies were small, young, no parent around, no mother around, about 2 months old, 3 months old. I actually thought 3 to 4 months old at that point by the size of them. They scooped them up, brought them back to the rescue, which is at Hector's house, which I'll go into in a second. And I happened to go by to meet them a few days later. 2 days later. Was it 2 days? Maybe even a day later. And fell in love with this little boy. His name is Teddy. Pam called him Teddy because he's a bit of a teddy bear. He looks like a golden retriever. He looks like such a gringo dog, which is kind of hilarious because Billy, my other dog, who you might have seen photos of, looks like a complete Baja California dog because she is black with the little brown eyebrows, little light brown, golden legs and splatches. So Billy from Colorado looks like a Baja dog. Teddy from Baja looks like a Colorado dog. So there you go. Those are my 2 new boys. So Teddy is super sweet. He was in a little pen with his brothers, 2 other puppies, and they'd just been washed because they stank. Because Pam found them living on top of a pile of dead roosters and feeding off and making their home within the dead rooster pile. There had been a weekend of cockfights in town, and she said they just stank. I mean, her and Hector grabbed the pups, put them in the car, and she ended up having to air out her car for quite a few days afterwards because the little guys just stank so badly. So luckily by the time I met Teddy, he was clean and tired and a little overwhelmed. And I was showing a friend, my friend Gayla and I were there looking around the rescue at Hector's house. So Hector, he's pretty interesting. He is a local fella. Hector Loreto is his name. He's a Mexican dog lover. And he already has a refuge in town. He has been taking in dogs and looking after them at his property on the south side of town. And so I went over there with my friend Gayla and to meet the team, because we both wanted to help an animal rescue. And he's just so committed, so passionate about it. He is bilingual, so he speaks really good English, which is great for all the gringos and expats and tourists that pass through. He can talk to them about the animals and explain what he knows. He's really into, like, he's so good at educating and explaining to people what they're doing, what the dogs need, the benefits of sterilization, the benefits of, not keeping the dog chained up or just knowing dogs. Like I went over there and he had 3 big runs around his house. Not that big, but he had 3 runs, sort of separate sections, and he had 35 dogs at that point. And there were some little ones and more vulnerable ones were kept in the house, which is where the puppies were. He was saying at night, they'd put them in there at night. And he just would look after them. And he's incredibly generous. He's helped save lives of many dozens and dozens of dogs. And even in the last month, they adopted out probably about 1 to 2 dogs a week, which is insane. But now he's gone up to 38 dogs because the word is out, and so people are also dropping off more dogs. So it's a little hard. So he used to work at the Baleo mine in Santa Rosalia and received less than a living wage, but he's just that person that gives everything he has to help the dogs. So Ma Animal Rescue is really good there. That his job now, they actually pay him a living wage, and he houses the dogs, he looks after them, he feeds them, he cares for them, he's part of the educational outreach. And so that's Hector. I really love Hector. You'd like him. He's a good guy. I am going to give the website link in this. I thought you might as well. And the rescue itself is super simple, but they've got a 4-point approach: sterilization, care, adoption, and education. And so they work with a local organization called PAW. It's a long-established volunteer group. It's been holding sterilization clinics and has a vet clinic twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the mornings for like a couple of hours. And so I've been there a few times with my dogs. They're into community education. They're going to neighborhoods, meeting residents, talking to people about sterilizations, clinics, vets, talking about the impact of unsterilized pets. It really encourages people to step up and be part of the solution. It's a very good setup. There's the care and the rescue at Hector's house. They're looking at it. They're actively searching for a piece of land, and so of course would appreciate any donations we can make. And of course adoption, which is where I got suckered in, because I went to the expo, the big town fiesta, and there they were with a puppy pen, and I got talking to them. Teddy wasn't there at that point, and I got talking to them, and they are really good. They're committed to finding homes. They'll even sort out getting them flights and paying for them to go up to the States, or just whatever's needed, basically. Really good people. And the last thing I want to tell you about, so there's Pam Taylor. She's a seasonal resident here, animal lover, 30 years experience in animal care. She's originally from Wisconsin, but she also works with connections of other shelters and trying to help the Mule animals and connect them with people up there. There's Gabriella Morrison, who is a person I got to know originally, and her husband Andrew lived in Mexico for several years. She is a year-round resident, and Her thing is she's great at managing organizations, marketing, and the web design. So if you go to the website, which is moolaheyanimalrescue.com.mx, you'll see her. And then there's Hector, who I talked about. And then there's also some other volunteers. We have Linda, the adoption coordinator, Moana, community outreach and education and liaison person. She is full-time and bilingual. We have Maria Peck de Acosta, who's the wellness consultant and education outreach, and a lot of people that just show up and spread the word and do all of that. So I feel very fortunate that I got here, and I've got Teddy now, who gets on really well with Billy. He's now 3.5 months old. He's now 22.5 pounds, so he's going to be a big boy. And because of traveling with dogs, I want to do an episode. The next episode, I want to talk about traveling with dogs in Mexico. And I'm going to give you the heads up of all that you need, the different resources, some of the vets that I know and I've come across through that first year of traveling down here with Harold, who had a lot of health issues because he was old. And I'm going to let you know the legal stuff, the health stuff, and some basic things to look out for. But that will be in the next episode. Today, I just wanted to introduce you to little Teddy. Teddy is the sweetest, and I will give you a few resources in the list. But other than that was just a little Teddy introduction. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon. Thank you for listening to the Wanderlust podcast with stories from the road. I hope you enjoyed your time here today. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with more anecdotes, more stories, more books, more gear, more inspiration, hopefully. If you would like to support me and my free podcast, these offerings, please go to sarahlimi.com and you'll see links to my artwork, my published books, and lots of also anecdotes and travel essays that are on the website. So poke around over there at sarahlimi.com. There's also a Buy Me a Coffee page. If you'd be so kind, that would be great. And yeah, spread the word. Enjoy. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.